unlikely. I mean, partner's probably going to have a couple of cards over there. But if Declare is making a game try in diamonds without the ace, I think Declare is most likely to have the king of diamonds here. Mm-hmm. And I think ultimately what you want to happen here, especially if you think Declare's plan is ultimately going to be, well, draw spades and run diamonds as their side suit. If that is Declare's intent, then I think what you really want to happen is for the ace to cover a king or queen, right? Yeah. We're back to the old, so aces were meant to cover kings and queens, not deuces and treys, because that's how you get things like tens and nines in your partner's hand promoted as winners. So yeah, so I'm ruling out both suits that they bid. Well, that leaves us with leading a doubleton heart or leading away from the king jack of clubs. So, again, partner never bid hearts. Partner might have something in hearts, but so if you lead your doubleton heart, and again, this is maybe your temptation because you have 4 trumps. And again, well, I've got 4 trumps and they're lousy trumps. They're probably not winners otherwise. Maybe I should see if partner can give me a rough. And so you think I'll lead my other short suit hearts. But I think that's kind of an unrealistic expectation. And even if partner has a couple of heart honors, Declare may be short there, right? Mm-hmm. Declare is more likely to rough a heart before you are. So what you really want to do here, and again, the main indication, if we go back to our what do we look for with a forcing defense, the main indication that we should be leading clubs is actually the fact that we have 4 trumps, that we should lead our long suit. Now, one of those old wives' tales that you always hear is, oh, somebody told me I should never lead away from a king. Well, if you never lead away from a king, you are never going to be a good defender, because there are situations that absolutely call for it, and tricks will go away. And what you find out a lot of the time, too, is that even if you lead away from the king and partner shows up with nothing in that suit, and it appears that you have given away a trick, a lot of times you haven't. Because if Declare's got a good side suit that they set up, they end up, in this case, pitching club losers anyhow. So you should try and get what you can while you can. So I would subscribe more to the old saying, lead from nothing, get nothing. So I want to lead a club with this hand. And if partner shows up with either the ace or the queen, then it's almost certainly the best lead, right? I mean, partner could have partner could have the queen of clubs and nothing. No, I think partner's going to have more than 2 points based on the opponent's bidding. But even if partner had only 2 points and those points were the queen of clubs, you'd be making a good lead, right? Because you'd be getting your king, you'd force out their ace and get your king jack set up and try and cash whatever clubs you can cash before they start getting rough. But there is ultimately another motive here.
So you lead the 6, correct?
Yeah, so my feeling on this is, so jack is actually a fairly standard lead because it's part of an interior sequence. Mm-hmm. But if your hope is that partner has the ace or the queen, I mean, the only time leading jack here really does you a lot of good is if the queen shows up specifically in dummy and partner has the ace, right? Mm-hmm. Or if they play the queen, partner could cover. So I actually normally just go back to my length lead here. Right. And on this particular hand, it turns out actually, if you're just going with your 4th best, that works out best here. So yeah, I think 4th best is fine. Or if you lead 3rd, a lot of people, like I often actually lead 3rd and 5th against suits. So with most of my partners, I actually lead 3 here. But whether you play 3rd and 5th or 4th, if you're leading small, that's fine. Because again, all you really need for this to be a very or the most successful lead is to find partner with a little something in that suit. It also works out well too if you like what if declare has something like singleton ace, or singleton ace shows up in dummy. You've ever had that, like you lead in honor, and then you say, oh gee, I wish I just let a small one because I have to win the ace anyhow. So okay, so we're gonna go with that. Let's go with fourth best club. 6 of clubs be our opening lead. And dummy tables this. Kind of flat, but certainly a normal 2-spade raise. So no real roughing value, but opener made a and say, well, hey, that's a surprise. Opener made a game trying diamonds, and the king and queen showed up in dummy. Imagine that. But I think if partner made a game trying diamonds, you'd be accepting with your 9 points and a couple of diamond cards, right? Okay, so that looks pretty normal. This is partner's hand. Probably, again, about what you would expect. Now, partner actually does have long hearts, but you're going to find out pretty soon that you'll be glad that you let a club. Yeah, partner's got about 7 points. Not about, partner has exactly 7 points. About is what we say when we lied about our points. How many points did you have? I had about 14. Oh, you mean you had 12? Okay. Yeah. So that's right. Yeah, we said there was room, even with their game for partner to have a little something because we only had 8 points. So partner's got 7. So everything looks right here so far, I think, right? Everybody's got their bid. And then here is declarer's hand. And, maybe not exactly what you pictured, but certainly good enough for a game try, right? Incidentally, and I know it's not part of the, at least at this stage, I guess it's not part of your standardized agreements here, but Joanne was talking to me before class today about the help suit game try, which could apply here too.
So why would they bid diamonds?
Well, it's a natural game try. I mean, it's a 4-card suit.
Oh, it's just
But as it turns out, 3 diamonds would work here. As if you play help suit, it would work that way too. So whether it's a natural game try or help suit game, declare might have had a 5th diamond. This time they only have 4. But you've got to make a game try of some sort, right? I mean, you do have 16 points, and partner gave you a bump to 2 spades. So, we can debate, okay, what's the best game try to make? Depends on your agreements and all that. So, 3 diamonds I think is as useful a game try as any.
But you actually do have 3 losers there. I mean, in diamonds.
In the diamonds, yes. Yeah, so, whether you're bidding it, that's what I said, it turns out on this particular hand that whether you're just bidding it naturally as a second suit, or if your agreement is help suit, you could use it either way. So.
Okay.
But I think it's pretty clear that the opponents are in a spot that they belong. Now, how does this defense go?
6.
All right. Well, you're leading the 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So declare, not much in dummy here. So let's say we go 6-2. Partner wins the ace. All right. Your partner is a good partner and returns your suit. And we now see the queen appear, and you win your king. All right. Now you have the benefit, West, of after just 2 tricks, you know exactly what's going on with this suit, right? Because you have 5 and dummy showed up with 4. Well, that made it very easy for you to get a count on the suit. Partner had 2 clubs, declarer had 2 clubs. And you assume when the queen of clubs falls in the second round, that, you know, even if you're not counting like you should be, that that's an honest card. There would be no reason for declared a false card here, even if you lost track of the suit. All right, so you know what's going on with the suit, and you know, okay, well, if I lay down my jack, which is high, declare is just gonna rough it. And this is where I think a lot of people go wrong. Even after they got off to the best lead, they think, well, I'm not gonna lead a club. It's just gonna get roughed. I've seen partner and declare both show up with 2 clubs. And they give up. This is where we want you to make declare rough. Even if you don't realize what you're causing to happen with this rough, I'd at least like you to make declare rough, because it's not giving anything away, right? Even if you look at it that way, say, well, if I lead the jack, I have the 10, I'm not setting up that 9 in dummy or anything, there's no danger here. Why don't I just make him rough? All right, so let's do that. So we go jack, small, no reason for partner to rough your winner that hasn't been roughed yet, right? So maybe partner just throws away a heart. We'll just make it a small one, but you might go ahead and signal that you have a heart card here. Okay, so declare roughs the club. Well, let's declare, what would your plan be with this hand? Well, as far as you know, trumps are splitting 3-2, right? Like, yeah, I'm gonna pound out 3 rounds of trumps. And then after trumps are drawn, I knock out the ace of diamonds and I'm home, right? Well, you're not entirely home. Because you still have to take the heart finesse. So you do need one more thing to go right to make this hand. Because even if you get your diamond set up, 1 heart pitch from the dummy doesn't do you any good, does it? But you figure you are going to draw trumps on this hand. Because you don't want any diamond winners getting roughed. Or you don't want a heart getting roughed.
You know, if the board had the 10 of clubs and the 9 was in West hand, would you still lead it?
So if the 10 were in dummy, in that case, what you might want to do is lead small rather than leading your big one and setting it up. And in that case, partner actually would want to use their trump to rough and force declare it over rough. So that would actually work for your side just as well. All right. Well, so what happens here? And it doesn't really matter how where you've got all the big trumps. So, you could go small to your jack and then back to your hand, or you could just play big ones from your hand. Doesn't really matter. You've got all the high trumps. All right, so declare starts on that, and they go ace. And then they go king. And here's the bad news. This person shows out. Well, what's your only hope? You can draw the last 2 trumps, right? I mean, you can prevent the opponents from roughing, right? But what happens if you do that? Well, you need 2 more rounds, right?
Right.
So if you play your queen in 10, those trumps will get taken away from West. What's the problem?
You need to lose the ace of
You have to give up the ace of diamonds. You have to give up the lead,
Yeah.
right? Now, and I think this example is actually straight out of the Hall book. So, and they said, yep, that was the line to play declare chose. So they went ahead and drew all the trumps so that nothing would get roughed. And then they played a diamond to the king, hoping that East one had the ace, right? 50-50 chance. If East has the ace of diamonds, they don't have a club to return, do they? So you're safe. Well, this is not declarer's lucky day, because after trumps are drawn and they have to give up the ace of diamonds, your 10 is a winner, right?
Mm-hmm.
All their trumps are gone. They're gone from dummy, they're gone from hand. And notice that all you had to do to make that happen was make declare rough once. Making declare rough once and then declare not getting the 3-2 break was all it took. You didn't think much of your 4 spades to the 7, right? You didn't think that gave you much of an edge as a defender here, but it did. Because it meant either declare had to go this route. Now, okay, what if declare doesn't do that, right? What if declare's like, well, if I draw all the trumps, then I will have no more trumps. And I'm scared to give up the lead when I have no more trumps because somebody might cash a club. All right, well, what happens if declare doesn't draw trumps? Is there an alternate line? Right? What if they knock the ace out? Instead of drawing trumps, they say, well, we have to lose the ace of diamonds, let's do that first.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say they lead a small diamond toward the king queen, and yeah, might as well grab your ace now, right? So what do you do when you win your ace? And by the way, you still have a trump left, because maybe they drew one more, but they left one out. Now all of dummy's trumps are gone, right?
Mhm.
How about playing your 10 now? Well, there went their last trump, and what have you done?
Yeah.
Now instead of cashing a club winner, you made your 7 of spades a winner. Declare has no counter to this. And then at some point while they're in dummy, they still need to run the queen of hearts and pick up the king so that they don't have a heart loser, right? If you don't make declare rough at least once in hand, they are going to make 4 spades. Even if you got off to the best lead and led your club. Because you would end up getting the ace and king of clubs and the ace of diamonds and nothing else. It's absolutely critical to the defense to make south rough. And just once, we'll get it done. As long as you continue, as long as you persist with your clubs. Does everybody see how that comes to fruition?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, yeah, with this sort of thing, it's really, I think it's.
Would it be
You know, it-
beneficial for the opponents to, let's say, instead of rough, left the 2 of hearts on there? Or
So the problem is, and this is going back to
But
the
they're
question
still-
that you had before.
They're still making that.
All right. So let's say the defense goes to cash their 3rd club, forcing you to rough, or that's their intent, to force you to rough, and you say, well, I may have this heart loser here. I don't know if the king of hearts is on side. I'll just throw away my 2 of hearts. You can do that. The problem is you have now lost 2 clubs and a heart, and you have to lose the ace of diamonds, right?
Mhm.
So you're giving up.
Right.
Yeah, you've
You've given them. It doesn't matter how they make it.
You can, with that, and you haven't, and you don't know yet that the trumps are splitting, right? So I wouldn't want to concede that I'm set in this game when trumps might be 3-2, because remember, anytime that the trumps split 3-2, you can't afford to rough in your hand once, right? Because then when you give up, then you've drawn trumps in only 3 rounds instead of 4, and when you give up the ace of diamonds and they lead another club, you have a trump left to rough, and now you don't have to give up the lead again as long as the king of hearts is on side, right? That's, so yeah, on this particular hand, you need, you need, again, it's a normal game to beat. You have 25 points, you have a spade fit, you shouldn't be second guessing the fact that you're in 4 spades here. It turns out that you pretty much need a 3-2 trump break and the king of hearts on side. All right. Maybe that ends up making it slightly less than a 50% game. But it's still a game that I want to be in.
If South let a dime to get to the board, it forces your ace out. If they don't go with the ace, it makes.
Well, I think what would happen is that if you let a diamond up to the king or queen in dummy, while you're on the dummy, you would probably take your heart finesse because you have to
That's
anyhow,
what I
right?
Mhm.
Okay, so that would work, but the rest of your diamonds are still not winners until you force out the ace. So even if even if West ducks the first diamond. You can survive that, right? Because you're still gonna win your ace at some point, and when you get in, what are you gonna do? You're gonna play another club.